it's game week 34 in the Premier League and the FA Cup semi-finals. We're going to take you through all the fixtures. Welcome to the Footy Network. Afternoon everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to the Footy Network, where it's game week 34. Decisions may be made in the top 5 race. Leicester are down now, Southampton are down now, and Ipswich are all but confirmed. And of course at the top of the league, Liverpool are set to be crowned champions. So a lot to get through. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new as well. All right, it's going to be a bit of a messy week because there's fixtures here, fixtures there. I'll take you through them best I can. So let's jump into the first game. The Emirates in North London is our first stop, as Arsenal will take on Crystal Palace. And this game is well and truly going to be the rested, because both these teams have bigger fish to fry in their next coming fixtures, because Palace have got a FA Cup semi-final against Aston Villa to look out for, and Arsenal have got Champions League. And neither of them are really that fussed currently on league form, I would say. Obviously, Arsenal, though, are in decent form. They won their last game, Trossard scoring in that as well, tonking Ipswich. And Crystal Palace have lost their way a bit in the league. No win in the last 3. Clearly, eyes all set on the FA Cup. Even though I think both teams will rotate very heavily in this game, I can still see Arsenal winning this game. So I'm going to go Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0. But don't write off Palace sorting their form out. They've got to get some kind of consistency before their game against Villa, which we'll be talking about in a minute anyway. So what do you guys reckon on this one? I'm going a home win. Stamford Bridge sees the second game as Chelsea will take on Everton, and Chelsea are in must-win territory because they, although beating Fulham in the West London derby last week, they need points. Their run-in in this top 5 race is 100% the hardest out of those around them. Currently sitting in 6th in the league, despite that last-minute winner from Pedro against Fulham. They have to get some points. Chelsea are in huge trouble for me in this top 5 race. I don't think they get it, but what do you guys think? Everton, on the other hand, are very comfortable on the beach, you could say. Not going to get Europe, not going to get relegated, but it just seems like Moyes doesn't want to give up the season. I can see them putting a good fight here. I'm going to go Chelsea 1, Everton 1. I think Everton's defense will just be too solid for Chelsea to fully break down, and I can see them walking away with a draw. What do you guys think? Molineux will see Wolverhampton taking on Leicester City, and Leicester City have officially been confirmed as back in the Championship. And boy, are the Championship waiting for them to hit them with all kinds of charges, business plans, point deduction, who knows? Who knows what else? But Wolves are the informed team in the Premier League right now. They just seem to not be able to stop winning. Beating Manchester United with a delightful free kick to take that game by 1-0. And then Leicester, on the other hand, taking another L to Liverpool, yet to score for about 1,000 years at the King Power Stadium. Can they get a goal away on the road? Last time out, they did get a 2-2 draw against Brighton, but I think this club is done and dusted. I can see nothing but a home win here. I see Wolves extending their winning streak, and I'm going to go Wolves 3, Leicester City 0. If Leicester can pick up a point at the remaining games of the season, I will be shocked. What do you guys think? St James's Park sees Newcastle taking on Ipswich, and Ipswich are set to be relegated this weekend if they don't get a win. But technically they're already down. They're only up on goal difference, or the potential of goal difference keeping them up, even though they are down on that as well. Newcastle have stumbled after getting loads of W's in a row. They decided to go and blow it all up against Aston Villa by losing 4-1 to them. Can Newcastle bounce back? This is probably the perfect game outside of Leicester to have to get yourself a bounce back result. And I can't see anything but a home win. Newcastle will need this to get themselves right up into the top 5 race. They need the points. They're currently sitting 5th in the league. I think they win it. I'm going to go Newcastle 2, Ipswich 0. Should be a comfortable home win. If this is anything other than a Newcastle win, then this is a shocking result. The Amex Stadium is our next destination as Brighton will take on West Ham. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys, this game off the bat looks dead. Brighton just can't get a win. West Ham can't get a win. West Ham is 17th in the league. Brighton might as well be 16th right alongside them, but they're 10th. Yes, they still can get European football, but their form is dictating that they are fully struggling with that. They've gone L, draw, L. Horrific form. Ever since they crashed out of the FA Cup to Forest, their form has just not come back. West Ham, on the other hand, are so lucky that Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton are in this division because they're stinking out the house. They've not won in their last 5. They've taken 2 losses and 3 draws. They went and embarrassed themselves by drawing with Southampton at home as well. What are you doing, West Ham? Is Harry Potter under any threat of being sacked right now? I think he survives, but only time will tell. How do I see this one going? I don't really care. So I'm going to go Brighton 1, West Ham 1. I can see a draw. I mean, surely both teams look at this. Surely Brighton need it more to get themselves back into the European race. 1-1. St Mary's Stadium will see the next game as Southampton take on Fulham, and this is almost a dead rubber game because congratulations to Southampton. They equaled, technically bettered Derby's worst ever points haul. So they should be safe for that, but just go and get 1 more point, Southampton, just so it's technically correct. Fulham, on the other hand, are stinking it out. I just can't read them. They're so inconsistent. It's almost becoming consistently inconsistent until they decided to go and lose last minute to their bitter rivals, well, at least from their perspective, in Chelsea. I think they can still get European football, but they're going to need to pick up some wins. I just can't see the consistency in them. So I'm going to go Southampton 2, Fulham 2. I think this could be a fun game. I can see Southampton playing with a little more freedom, getting that 1 point to get them to 12 points and away from Derby's record. What do you guys think? Vitality Stadium, we'll see Bournemouth taking on Manchester United, and again this is slightly having something riding on it, as Bournemouth could get European football. I hope not. Manchester United are playing to avoid 17th. 17th this season should be relegation. It really should. After they embarrassed themselves against Wolves, after they've embarrassed everyone in the Premier League so far, after they've been an embarrassment to their fan base, they could still end up with Champions League football. And that seems to be all they care about right now, this Europa League. So, Atletico Bilbao, do us all a favor. Do us all a favor. Look, the only team that cares about this game is Bournemouth. So they have to come out and win this one. I'm going to go Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 1. But I hope neither team wins, if I'm being honest with you. I can't stand either of them. What do you guys think on this one? Who wins it? Let me know in the comments. Field up in the northwest is the next game as Liverpool take on Tottenham. And this could crown Liverpool as champions if they win this game, subject to Arsenal not losing to Palace, I think, something like that. Anyway, who cares? This title race was done many weeks ago. Tottenham are just making up the numbers. Ange is just making up the numbers because there are reports to say that he is done at the end of the season, win the Europa or not. The Australian Greek is done at Tottenham. Maybe that brings a smile to a few of your Spurs fans' faces. Liverpool, on the other hand, have basically won a title that no one's talked about in about 2 months. So congratulations to them. This has to be a home win. Spurs are focused on the Europa League. So I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Spurs 2. I can see it being somewhat entertaining, but more so because of how crap Spurs are. And if Spurs or Manchester United finish 17th, they must be thanking Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton every single day of their lives. What do you guys think? Wembley Stadium will be our settings of the next game, as Crystal Palace will take on Aston Villa in the first of the semi-finals. And this is what Crystal Palace have been building up to for about the last month, because they've been absolutely crappy on the pitch since they won in their quarter-finals. I think this will mean everything to them. Aston Villa, on the other hand, have crashed out of the Champions League, crashed out against Man City yesterday. Will they crash out of the FA Cup? Will they go from potentially having a fantastic season with Champions League football, maybe could have won their Champions League as well, getting that second star, and getting the FA Cup? This really is very important to Villa. They've got to get this one done. But I got a feeling Crystal Palace want this more. I think Crystal Palace come out triumphant. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 1. This would be Crystal Palace' first ever title, trophy, anything that they could put in that trophy cabinet. And I think they'll get themselves to the final. It's got nothing to do with who I support. What do you guys think? Wembley Stadium again will host the second of the semi-finals as Forest take on Manchester City. And this is the big one. This is the one you've all been waiting for, the main event of the weekend. And I think it's going to be a tight game. Now, let's remember recent form favours Forest, as Forest beat Man City a couple of weeks ago 1-0 and absolutely schooled them and dominated them. However, Man City currently sits ahead of Forest in the Premier League table, be it that they've played a game more, but are starting to pick up some form. They've won 4 out of their last 5. In fact, their last defeat came against Forest. Forest, on the other hand, have just been able to turn back round the corner at the right time, beating Spurs at Tottenham Stadium, whatever they call it now. And a nice away win has put them back on track and surely in the front running for a Champions League spot, which means they can fully focus on this FA Cup semi-final. How does this one go? Cristiano Ronaldo is back in form from Forest, getting in amongst the goals. But Pep seems to have figured out how to piece these pieces that he's got together and get the best out of his Man City team, with O'Reilly looking very good, with De Bruyne pulling the strings as well now in midfield, looking sharper again. I see this becoming a very tight match. I'm going to go Forest 0, Man City 0, and Forest win this one on penalties. Forest do things the hard way. We know that as Forest fans. Well, maybe you're not Forest fans, but I know that as a Forest fan. It's a long, painful road with us, and we can't do things the easy way. 0-0, Forest on penalties. What do you guys think? And that's your 10 games of the weekend. Let me know how you think the FA Cup games will go. And do you think Ange Postecoglou survives another week at Spurs? If you've enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new to the Footy Network. We'll see you on the next video. Enjoy your weekend and best of luck to your teams.